Hi, and thanks again for visiting my channel. Today's video is actually going to be something a little different. I wanted to share a few things actually that I've been eating for the past week that I feel has greatly improved my overall health in general. I'll just give you kind of like an idea of what I had this past week. And what had inspired me to do this is my husband's relatives had come through and they were doing like a vacation thing, a road trip, and they're really sweet people. Uncle Bill, Aunt Etta, hi, thanks for stopping by. And Uncle Bill had mentioned this one documentary called Forks Over Knives that I had, once he said it, I was like, oh, I've seen that before. It's in my like Netflix. It's not in my queue, but it's like in the first thing of like the documentary section. So he's like, he said he watched it, and it really helped him to see what it can be to eat healthier and feel better. So I was like, you know, I'm ready to take a step into doing something different with regards to my diet, because I have not seen the results I want to see. For instance, lower blood sugar levels and just feeling better, and just making a conscious effort to try and be better. So so we watched the movie, and I was so like flabbergasted. I was like, you know, the funny thing is that my mom, she keeps telling me, you know, people in Korea, when they have like high cholesterol or high blood sugar levels, they go to like mountains, you know, and they just take like a vacation away from the fast foods, away from their busy life, away from all this stuff. And when they come back, they come home with like stories and like miracles of just being more healthy, having no high cholesterol, having no high blood sugar levels, and just eating nothing but like roots and herbs and stuff like that. So I was like, whoa, is America now on the bandwagon now? Did they realize that this huge obesity and, you know, like bad health is all due to like foods and what we eat? So it really hit home for me. Like, it was like, I knew this all along, but it was like, yeah, it is true. If you stay away from things like that, you'll not only immediately see a big difference in how you feel, but your weight, you'll lose weight, and you'll feel better, and all your stats will go down in a good way, you know. So, and your good cholesterol, or your good, you know, I think it's HDL or LDL, I always forget, will go up, which is good. So I was like, Lori, you gotta get your act together. So this past week, I'll just run through what I made. I'm back. I just had to take a quick break because I'm boiling some eggs. So speaking of which, the Forks Over Knives, I believe it's whole food plant-based foods. So basically it's going like vegan, I believe. Vegan is the strictest diet, as opposed to being vegetarian, because I think with vegetarians you can have eggs. But I noticed, I actually got the Fork Over Knife book, and when I was flipping through the recipes, there was no eggs, there was no cheese, and if there was cheese, they'd use tofu to like mimic the cheese. But basically it really opened my eyes about, you know, the plants, the vegetables, the fruits, and how important they are, and how they can radically change a person's health just by focusing on eating more like plant-based foods. Not to necessarily, this is not a message saying you have to be vegetarian or vegan. because I don't think I could do that. Just this past weekend, I went to a Korean barbecue, and I ate pork belly, and I ate, short ribs. So I don't think I could ever subscribe to that kind of lifestyle. But can I change my, weekly, cooking habits? Like, instead of reaching for meat or red meat all the time, maybe I can reach more for fish or for chicken, or even just a meat-free meal. So, one second. Hello, I'm back. So, okay, so let me go through what I ate this past week after watching that movie and just being horrified by the stats about certain things. I mean, sure, my husband says take everything with a grain of salt, but like, take for instance, okay, if you, something to the effect of eating a certain percent of meat will activate a cancer cell. I mean, that's kind of scary if you think about it. But of course, they were doing research, clinical research on people who had already been in an advanced stage of cancer. Anyway, if you are interested in hearing about this or knowing more about this, I would highly recommend the Forks Over Knife movies and movie. And if you have Netflix, you should have it on there. And if not, I don't know, find a DVD of it somewhere. I highly recommend it. So anyway, where was I? So this past week, okay, so Monday and Tuesday. So Monday we had eggplant parmesan for dinner. Now my husband, he eats, whatever he wants during lunch, but I want to focus on the dinners because that's what we eat before we go to bed. But that's not to say you shouldn't just eat whatever you want before dinner. You always have to just keep in mind, like, not to overeat something, right? And plus, when you're at work, you don't really have a chance to do that. For me, I tend to really not eat during the day. I am not sure why. Like, for instance, right now, I'm eating this, which is like grain and sprouted brown rice with nectarine and cashew. But, this is just what I have around. But isn't this better than eating like a donut? So anyway, I'll get to this later. But what I was trying to say is, okay, now, so last week for dinner, Monday we had eggplant parmesan. Tuesday we had a polenta pizza with like homemade tomatoes, garlic, and a basil kind of sauce. And then Wednesday we had salmon. And then Thursday we had salmon. And then Friday, I think we had something else. But the point is that when I look back on the week that we had dinner, it was basically vegetables, like chock full of vegetables. Like I had 2 medium like eggplants, and it was enough for both of us for 2 days because we eat a lot. And the salmon and the polenta. So, I mean, fish is not bad. I mean, I don't know why there was anyway, so, fish has omega-3 oils, which are good for your body. Not to say that I'm not poo-pooing red meat, because I love red meat. But my point is that have what you want, but also have other good things too. Don't rule them out. And that was my problem. I was like, I can't prepare eggplant. I can't prepare fish. I can't prepare this or that. But I did it. I just said, I'm going to do it. And what's the worst that can happen, right? But you can't really go wrong. But with the eggplant, the eggplant was baked versus fried and breaded. So it was a healthier version of the eggplant parmesan. So I just I'm doing this for myself too, because I need reinforcement. But I also want to feel good about doing something, and then if I say something about it, hopefully I'll stick to it longer. Because I heard that once you do something for at least 2 weeks, it'll be easier for the rest of the, time. And this is just my first week, so I might be jumping the gun. Who knows? Maybe I'll just like end up making pot roast and spaghetti like I always do. But what I want to do and what I really want to have happen is for me to just be better, like in general. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to do with my health. I mean, it's a big deal, but like just feeling better, not having like glossy eyes, not feeling tired during the middle of the day, like just feeling better. And I've heard this so many times, it's such a cliche, but you won't understand it until you actually get to a point where you need to change. And for some people, it may be later in life. For some people, it may be now. For some people, you may not even have any symptoms of, high blood pressure or sugar or, cholesterol. But, just be good to your body, And I guess for me, I just wasn't aware of what I was eating. I was just aware of what tasted good, and I just wanted to eat it all the time. But if I look back, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm eating a lot of red meat, like pot roast, spaghetti, pizza with sausage. I mean, come on, right? I mean, that's just too much meat. So, I encourage myself and I encourage you to eat better. Just start with eating better. And if you can do that, and if you could, challenge yourself to eat things that are maybe not what you're normally eating, like what I'm eating, like this, then I would try. By the way, I wanted to share with you a product that I found at Owajimaya. I was going to pick up some brown rice because I am Asian by, nature, and I love my rice, and I have cravings for rice. I mean, I just can't help that. But I was in that section and I was like looking around and I was like, wait a minute, there's this. Now, in Korean culture, we typically just eat white rice or brown rice, but there has been this other alternative, and it's always been there. I mean, but my mom started to make just this type of rice like about a few years ago, or maybe more than that, but this is the healthier alternative. Now, what this is you put it in addition to the white rice or the brown rice that you're cooking. But because I, have a condition where if I eat rice, it'll spike my blood sugar up, I can't eat rice, or I have a very limited amount of rice. Now this happens to be the whole grain mix, sukoyaka 8-grain mix with sprouted brown rice. And I was thinking, why don't I just cook this? I mean, this is a lot healthier. It's basically sprouted brown rice, hulls barley, rye berries, whole oats, red rice, purple black barley, and wild rice and bamboo rice. I mean, and it is so delicious. Last week, I had two bunches of kale. One I gave to a friend of mine, and the other one, I was like, what am I going to do? Well, I've made kale chips before, and I don't know why. I always end up burning them, but I wanted to try again. And I tried it using a different recipe where what you do is you just take kale, rinse it, dry it, strip it into small pieces, and then you basically dehydrate it in the oven. What I did was I just put a bunch of different types of spices like turmeric, curry powder, some other spices, and it tasted pretty good, except it still was kind of bitter, and a lot of the leaves weren't like crisp. So it's like, I have all this kale, I don't want to eat it the way it is. So I was kind of like, maybe what I'll do is this is when I bought this, and I had like, I I cooked like 2 cups of it. Okay, I'm gonna put the kale, I'm gonna put what's left of the kale chips, mix it in with the hot barley, brown rice sprouted thing, and put in some Trader Joe's Thai chili cashew nuts. And oh my gosh, it was so good. It cooked the kale so that the kale was softer. You could taste the nuttiness of the kale. It went really well with the nuttiness of the sprouted rice. And the Thai spices from the cashews made it just so flavorful, so nutty, and so good. So if you guys want me to, make a video on how I did that, let me know. But it was so good. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, thumbs up, comment, rate, subscribe, share with me what your, creative thoughts on how to eat better. And I'll hear from you next time.